Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Tuesday. Today I'm going to be doing the next 4 stages of the Hachette Partworks release and build the U96 U-Boat. You are going to love today's build. I've already built it, but I did the build first. And that's exactly how it's going to look by the end of this video. So the continuity in this is all over the place, but I'm doing the introduction at the start, but you're going to love how we got to that stage. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's a QR code on the screen, but I want to show you exactly how I achieved that. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So pack 7 starts with stage 25. This is everything we need for that. So we've got loads of parts for the ammunition boxes, the partition and the battery cells here. So I'm just going to lay them out like they've got in the picture here, because I'm going to get a bit confused if I don't do that, I think. Excellent. And that is laid out exactly like the picture in the instructions. Okay. The first thing we want to do is we want to take these 2 parts here and we're going to be joining these together just like this. They are going to need to be glued. So I'm going to put some glue on the pegs here. Just put these around each side. That'll be enough to hold it. As a matter of fact, I could probably put some dots on this edge as well. Excellent. Put that together and just hold that into place. Now this is going to be the first thing that's going on this rail here. It's going into the hole just there. So again, I'll do a dry fit so you can see how that's going to look. It's going to look just like that. Okay, just put some glue on this bit so I can get this first piece in here. What I need now is the next ammunition box here, and this is actually going to go next to this flat piece next to it, so it's actually going to look just like this. So again, I'm going to need to glue this onto place. Now in the top camera, best to see this, you see we've got these 2 tabs here. That's going to go into the 2 tabs that we've got just on this rail here. So just line that up and push that in. Excellent. In a similar way this time, I'm not attaching any boxes to it, but I'm going to be putting some glue just onto this partition here. I'm only putting it on the edges here. Doesn't need a lot at all. That's going to go into the 2 holes next to it. And again, on the top camera, I'm just looking to make sure that that's exactly parallel with the one next to it. Now these are labelled A and B. So this one's B, this one's A. It's A that I'm going to need first. That's going to go into the next pin along. So again, I'll just do a dry fit quickly. That's going to go in there. So let's glue that one in. And in a similar way, we're going to be taking the one that's labelled B. And that one's going to go next to it here. Perfect. The next one along looks just like this. It's got 2 little lugs in there. Again, I'm going to put some glue just onto those. And a little bit on that front wall. So I can slot this one in. And then finally, we've just got this one here in a similar way, just going to go next to it. And that's that full section there completed. And that is also all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 26, we've got the next bulkhead here. Let's get this open. And we've got lots of details on a sprue here that we're going to be cutting off and putting onto this bulkhead. So the first one I want is this little square here, and then I also need the box just above it here. So the first one is just going to go onto this point just here. Bit of glue. Put that into place, and it's basically going that way round. And then right next to it, into those 2 holes there, I've got this square detail. So I'm just putting some glue on the lugs. Push that in there. So that's how that looks. I've got this bigger box now here, which I'm just cutting off. This has got some rivets in it. Near impossible on the instructions to figure out if the rivets go at the top or the bottom. I'm going to put mine at the bottom. So that's in like that. And then the last part we've got on this sprue is this really big panel here. which is just going to go below it here. So again, I'm just going to touch some glue just on these points here and put that into place. So when they're all in, they should look just like that. Now on the other side here, I've got these lockers here. Again, I'm just going to be putting some glue just around these pegs. And this has got 2 holes in this side just to locate that into place. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now stage 27 is very similar, but we're not going to be starting on this bulkhead. Let me explain what I mean. Now this time we've got 2 lots of sprues. It's this first sprue I want first. I want this microphone, which is in here. And you remember this? This is what we created in the last pack. Now the microphone, I'm going to need a pointing device here, so let me go get some tweezers. Is going to go into the desk just between this unit and this one here. So it's going to go into the desk just down there. Let me put this in and show you what I mean. Now there is a tab for this to go. So what I'm going to do is just brush the bottom of this on here and get this into that tab. So when that's in, you can see that it's looking just like that there. Excellent. The next thing I want to take off is this little wheel that we've got here. Again, I'm going to be putting the tiniest amount of glue just on the end of this. And this is going to be going into the hole that we've got on the detail that you can see just there. Let me put this in and show you. And hopefully you can see that. There you go. That's that wheel in place. Now, do you remember we had a toilet here? We're actually going to make the toilet now. So I need these 3 parts here. These 3 parts are going to make the toilet. Never thought I'd see the day when I'm making a toilet. These 2 parts are going to go together just like this. So I'm just going to glue them in now. So that's looking like that. And the good thing is these little lugs do have a little keyhole pattern on them. I've got to say little a lot, don't I? So you can only put the basin of the toilet on one way. So that is the tiny toilet made. Now the toilet is going to go into this section here. You can see 2 holes just into the base there. That's what these little lugs here are going to go into. So again, I'm going to just put some glue around the edges of these. And that is the toilet in place. Check that out. Excellent. Okay, we can put this whole thing to one side. And now I want to detach a couple of parts here. And that's these green parts. Again, we do have a little tiny, it's impossible to show you this. Look how tiny this is. It's got a keyhole pattern on one side. That's going to be going into the hole that I've got in this section here. Again, a keyhole shape. And when that's in, it should look like that. So bringing this over, this is just going to be going into the hole that we can see just on this side here of this bulkhead. Tiny bit of glue in there. Get that in. Perfect. So that's that one in. Just put that to one side while I make a wash basin now. So I need to cut off this pipe and also what looks like a tap or a faucet if you're in America. And on this sprue here, as you can see, I've got the basin. Okay, put some glue on this pipe first. That's going to go underneath the basin so that the pipe is pointing towards the back there, like that. Going to put the little faucet on the top, or tap. It does have a little spout, so you want to make sure that that's pointing into the sink there. And then again, I want to put some glue just on the edge here and here, because this is going to go next to that pipe here. That's looking good. There we go. We've got a wash basin. I've got the radiator now over this side. That's going to be going into the 2 holes here. Perfect. I've got this very tiny hand wheel, very tiny parts in here, which I'm holding with my tweezers. A little bit of glue. And that's going into the smaller hole up the top. Like that. Now just doing a dry fit for the toilet door. it's going to go on this way with these sides here going towards the other hinges like that, but it is going to be glued into place. This door won't be able to open. So if I put some glue just along the edges here and down the bottom, I should be able to achieve that. Perfect. The sprues are now empty, and that is that bulkhead complete. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So there is a lot to do in the last stage, because we're going to piece through everything we've just done in the last 2 packs together. So I want to take the ammunition boxes and battery cells here, bring over what we created in the last pack, and I'm going to be putting this into place. Now I'm just going to be lining it up with the 2 holes, probably best on the top camera there. So just again a dry fit to see how that looks. It's going to go in just like that. So let's put some glue on these. This time I'm going to be putting glue just along the flat edges here. Like this. I'm not putting any glue on top of that lug, because that's going to go through the floor. As you can see, we've got the holes in the floor for this. That's why they're coloured blue. Get that in. I'm just going to hold that into place for a second. Excellent. Now, the bulkhead that we created first, this one here, we're going to be putting that in next, but would be best to open these screws. Now these are EP screws. I'm just going to get one loaded up ready, because on this side here, if I go onto the top camera, we've got some tabs here. I need to line up this side with those tabs. Push that a little bit better together. There we go. So let's do that now. There we go. That's gone in perfect. So that tab, and that tab there are now screwed in. So I'm going to put some EP screws just into these holes. Perfect. So that's that bulkhead now in place. Now I've got 2 rods here. It's the one I want is the one without the bend in it. I want this rod here. And it's got 2 sides. You've got a longer side on top, shorter side on the bottom. So we want the shorter side to be facing down. And it's going to go through this way. And it's going to go through every single hole that we've got in these bulkheads here, as you can see. And it is going to attach to the back wall. So what I'm going to do is, once I've got it through the last hole, probably best on the top camera, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it. I'm going to hold that in place till the glue sets. Now I want this bulkhead here to be tight against the wall. So I am going to put a clamp in here just to keep that in place, just while that glue sets there, because you want the top of this to be flush as well, if you look on the top camera. Excellent. So this is what the next pipe looks like with a bend. This is going to be going into the slot that I've got just on that back firewall here. So again, I'm going to glue this into place. Now this middle section here, as you can see, has got a square on it. That's just going to be fitting into the lug, probably on the top camera that you can see just there. So let's get some glue on this. And there we go. That's what that should look like when that's in. Perfect. And then the last set of pipes we've got look just like this. There's 2 holes just next to my clamp there, as you can see, that these are going to go into. Again, we do have, next to that lug that we had, we've got another one in the middle just there, which is going to be able to accommodate, just put some glue on these, the little square there. So that is all 3 of those in place. Perfect. I'm now in a position to put the other bulkhead that we created here on. So again, if I have it this way round, I want the open side here, best on the top camera, towards these pipes, but I am going to have to be putting the pipes into the walls here. So let's get the bottom section and this section in first, because we are going to be putting this in with screws. Just like that. Take the clamp off now. I've got to get all of these parts in. So that's in where it needs to be. Okay, some screws again. Hold this in place. So I'm going to be putting some screws just into these 2 points here. And then I'm not putting the 2 top screws in yet because I need to put the back on, looking like this. So that's going to be going over the top here, and I'm just lining up the holes on each side here. So that's lined in that side, and I've got 2 holes in this side. So again, we've got these EP screws, which is going to hold this in. I'm going to put one in here first, not too tight until I can line up the one on the other side. Now before I tighten these up completely, I've got one more part to put in, which looks like this. I'm not going to need to glue this in because when I tighten the screws up, let me just get this in, it's going to hold this into place. There you go. So let's screw this in. And that is another section completed. That looks really good, doesn't it? I do like how they're the toilet, even though the door is closed, we know behind that door, even though we can't see it, there is a toilet in there. I'm sure a lot of people could mod that, so you could probably open that door up. But there you go. That's looking pretty cool, isn't it? Right, we're just going to be putting some lights in. So the one that's got a red sheath here is a red light. Now the red light needs a L2 sticker on it. And that one's going to be going into the hole just here. So it's going to push this in. It does fit in quite firm there, as you can see. All the other lights are white. They're going to need an L1 sticker. Now, because we're not doing anything with these wires at the moment, I'm not going to take the little cable ties off of these. I'll do that afterwards. As long as I can get these bulbs in, I'll be happy. So let's just get the last sticker out. And I'm going to be putting all 3 of these white lights in. And with all of those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. I'm telling you, this is quickly becoming one of my favourite packs. It really does look good. It's one of my favourite builds. Look at that. It's like doing a doll's house in a submarine. Absolutely brilliant. Once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.